Born in the pines where the axes sing loud. Generations deep, we're a proud, tough crowd. Hands on the Bible, the timber, the steel. Faith in the Lord, the life that we feel. God, guns, and sawdust, it's in our veins. Through the sweat and the toil, through the joy and the pain, we stand on the roots of the trees we felled. Faith in the Maker, stories to tell.
Hey, welcome back, y'all. God, guns, and sawdust. Tonight, our guest with us is Michael Bary from Southern Indiana. Now, Michael, he goes back generation, and his grandpa was an awesome guy. He's going to tell us about him. I met Michael, it was, about 10 years ago? Something like that?
That'd be my guess.
Yep. Richmond, Virginia at a logging show. That was the same day I met Wade Ancient. That's right. Logger Wade. He's a good guy, too. We've all been friends for, well, ever since then, pretty much. So, hey, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Michael? But before we do, we're going to have Willie go ahead and start us off in a word of prayer.
There you go. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing this group of people together here at this table today and keeping us all safe. Thank you for bringing us all here in good health, and we hope that these stories that are told around this table will serve purpose and serve some sort of guidance to somebody out there to help keep them safe or to help provide them the direction in which they need to travel. We thank you in your heavenly name. Amen.
Amen.
So, Southern Indiana and Northern Indiana, is there like a North versus South war that goes on here? Or is this just something a little different?
I mean, not a war there, I wouldn't say.
So there's no Hatfield McCoys or anything like that? No, you guys are good?
No, more like a brotherhood.
Yep.
It really is a brotherhood. Well, like if I find something, for instance, my uncle, he gave me a call and said, hey, I need somebody to buy my timber. Well, where are you at? Well, I'm down, poor Southern Indiana. You know what I mean? Like, I only know one guy to call. That's Michael Bary. Come to find out, he was only 2 miles away. I'm like, what a small world.
Yep.
It was really close.
Wow.
So how far apart are you two distance-wise?
2 hours.
Couple hours, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's not very far at all. I can travel 6 hours and still be in the state of Maine, so.
Yep. Yeah, Southern Indiana to where I'm at. And you're pretty much right on the line. It's 2 hours.
So are you logging conventionally? Or are you logging mechanically? How are you guys operating?
We're kind of the old school. We still all hand fell. We do got a grapple skidder, run a knuckle boom. Probably small to medium size. There's only 3 of us.
Yep. Now, how many generations worth of loggers are there in the family? Which generation are you?
Well, technically the second. My grandpa was the first, but he started in like 1948.
Yep.
He served in World War II. When he got out of the war, he was kind of working at the powder plant where they was making ammunition and started logging too. And it got where he was doing too much, and at the powder plant they told him he needed to do one or the other, and he decided he wanted to take off logging. So
well, there you go. So that covers God, guns, and sawdust right there in that one story.
All 3 at one whack.
Yeah, you can't beat that. That's
Not
pretty
at
good. So with your logging operation, are you guys cutting for a mill on the contract timber? Are you cutting private lots? How are you guys doing this?
we're cutting 100% private. We find all of our timber ourselves, cut all of our own timber, and then we sell it to variation of different mills, log buyers, veneer buyers, whatever we're cutting.
See, because I see guys like you that are cutting private, and then through some of my YouTube stuff and everything else, I find these other guys that they're contract cutters. They're cutting for mills.
Well, here's the thing with that, and Michael, he'll agree with me too. When it comes to a contract cutter, unfortunately, when the landowner makes a deal with the guy out writing the contracts, when they write that deal with that big sawmill they just got $50,000 for, oh, wow, hey, look, I got a check right now for $50,000. That's great. But you will never, most likely never see that guy again The other guy that comes in, he's getting paid by the foot, contract cutter, just like what you said. The faster that logs hit that mill, the faster he gets paid. You don't care about your timber. You don't care about your land. He's getting it out so he can make money.
Yep.
I don't care if it's wet or not, dude. You don't understand. I got a payment, and this stuff's coming out hitting the landing because I'm the guy. And then you're calling the other guy, and it's going to voicemail. Where Michael and I, Mr. Clint, same thing. Low impact loggers. We come in, you make a contract with me. We make a contract with you. You sign a dotted line. Every day we're there, you answer to me. There's no other way. And that is what makes us different than the bigger operation. Because a lot of times, well, you don't understand, but we'll pay them the same amount of money. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know, but these guys right here are pretty big.
Yeah, we get that a lot up in Maine, too. You get the bigger companies that come in. They'll wave that check in front of your face quick for the quick dollar and go. But if you deal with one of the smaller guys, like somebody sitting at the table here, we'll probably make you more money in the long run, but it's going to take us a little longer to do it.
And the other thing with the contract cutter, I tried that. I did that for 8 or 9 months, not long after I'd been in the logging business probably 4 or 5 years and tried that. I lasted 8 or 9 months, and that was not my cup of tea.
Right. It's a totally different
I was working for a
situation.
pretty decent forester. I mean, pretty nice guy, but I wasn't working directly for a mill. But he's got to make his money too. So, you know, when you're not going to get top dollar as a contract cutter, so you have to move the footage.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah, you got the middleman involved when you're a contract cutter, so you're kind of picking up what's left over after everybody makes their negotiations. So
yeah, and it's funny what we do. They call us, you know, over here. I mean, like we all cut private. Out west, you know, they call the guys like us a jippo logger.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know much about that. He called me a jippo. We'd be rolling around in the grass. Imagine.
Never heard of that term.
No, me neither.
GYPO, jippo. Yep.
Never heard
Small,
of that.
free.
I learned something
basically
today.
A freelance logger.
Freelance logger. Is that like a freelance photographer? Or?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're learning stuff now.
Hey.
Yeah.
You identify what you want to. Identify as whatever you want.
I'll identify as the firewood guy. I don't want to be the logger. I'm all set with that.
Oh man.
So cutting private, what's the biggest issue or the biggest problem that you guys have with your day-to-day business that keeps you from being able to do what it is that you need to do? What's the biggest hurdle that you guys have to get past every day?
The big thing is just breakdowns and the changing cost of supplies and fuel and stuff like that. Other than that, we run pretty smooth. The guys that work with me, we've all been good buddies and friends, and we all get along and work good together, and just makes for a lot better work environment when you're not yelling or fighting with each other. If
That's
you can come,
the biggest thing.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes those family-owned operations can get a little heated at times, I'm sure, Alan.
Yeah.
And
I've been
everybody
there,
else, we can have a few stories about that stuff, but that'll be for another time, I'm sure.
Another time on another day.
But you know, when you start looking at multi-generations trying to do the same thing together, Dad knows how to do it better than you do, and Granddad knows how to do it better than both of you.
That's
and
right.
nobody's listening to anybody, and it can get interesting at times.
Well, everybody does their own thing too. I'm not going to do it how Alan does it, and he ain't going to do it how I do it. So if you're in a family business, normally one family member wants to do it one way and the other one wants to do it the other way, and then yeehaw.
Yeah.
Saddle up. Here we go.
It'll get interesting for sure, because I know, like Ryan, he's teaching his son right now and trying to teach him some of this stuff, and I know the way that he does it might be different than the way that Ryan wants to do it.
Sure.
But at the same point in time, everybody's going to do it just a little bit different, so you got to have a little bit of grace in there. And I know myself as a father, my son's just getting old enough, he's getting interested in this stuff. My patience, that's what I got to work on, is my patience.
You know, when they're that young, I know when I was that young, you know, growing up in this and being at the sawmill a lot from the time I was 6, you know what I mean, to the time I can't even remember, you don't realize where you're at.
Yep.
Until one day you wake up, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
My dad's a logger, dude.
and I don't think you really realize when you're that age either just how much you're learning without actually doing anything.
Sure.
Just from watching everybody else do it, the things that you're learning. So myself, whenever there's somebody younger or somebody newer around, I try to really force myself to do it the right way, not take those shortcuts because they're watching you. They're watching every step you take.
Yep.
Well, I've got my son Caden coming on. He'll be 20 here in a week or two. He just got his logger certification.
Big time congratulations.
Yeah, hey,
that's a big step.
Yeah, that was back
Big
in
step.
April. In fact, I was up here with you last time.
We made a video about that.
Yeah, we did, right
now
out there
you're
at
moving
Cataract Falls.
multi-generational now.
Yeah,
Watch
we're
out.
moving multi-generational.
There you go.
So you're no longer a first-generation logger.
Well, he would be.
Yeah, I'm still the first.
Yeah.
So where are we going
The
with this?
family business won't be, though.
Oh, no,
That'd be
absolutely.
2 generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
where I'm going with
Our
it.
youngest, our soon-to-be 9-year-old, she sits there and gets out on the equipment, runs it around, and she doesn't go out in the logging woods with us, but
Right.
she'll work around a deck or something like that and move.
That's where it starts.
Yeah. We need the traco moved. She loves to move that traco around.
My grandpa, when I was in the mill, we'd be 8 years old out there. He had a 940 Alice Chalmers 4-wheel drive, 840 4-wheel drive, a 545 Alice or John Deere, and it had the 2 levers on the side. And one was the roll back and dump, and the other one was up and down, 2 levers. So,
Yep.
old guys, boy, they had her down pat. And my job was to go out there and just sit. And a guy by the name of Paul Delp, he went back in the back, he'd get the logs for the deck because I was too young to know the species. He'd bring it over and throw it on the forks. Then I'd put it on the main deck for my dad to head zone. And that's what my job was all day. But, man, you want to talk about ready to get up and go to work. I couldn't wait. I got to run the loader today.
Yeah, you're important. You had a job.
Right, and no brakes. Forward and reverse.
Yeah,
Forward
brakes
and
are
reverse.
only for stopping.
Brakes are overrated.
They overrated for a sawmill, that's for
That's
sure.
kind of like getting on an old backhoe. How many times have you ever gotten on an old backhoe that the brakes actually work?
Right, not very many.
That's what the bucket's for.
Bucket holds it down.
Yep.
Yeah, so, up on our screen over here, I think Sean's got a picture that might mean something to you a little bit up there, Mike.
Yeah, that's about where it all got started. You can't hardly see it, but the guy standing by the red truck, that was my grandpa, and by I guess it'd be his right leg, you can kind of see some white. That would be me at probably 6 years old.
Probably underfoot and in the way, but loving every minute of it.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is, that white spot. There
Yeah.
it is.
Yep.
We were going for our nightly ride. He let me drive.
There you go.
Times has changed a lot. Now you don't see little kids driving nothing. Well, when I was a little kid, I drove a log truck.
There you go.
That's just
That's
the way
awesome.
it was.
And that probably had a 366 gas in it with a 5-speed, with
Well,
a 2-speed
Big
rear end.
block.
Those there were older ones, 350, and
Oh,
one
okay.
of them had a 292.
Oh, boy.
See,
And
my-
actually, that blue one, it was bought brand new, and it had the 292 in it.
now those
And
are
then the
best
red one was bought used, and it had a 350.
Man, I knew how to put a load on a truck back in.
That's kind of where it all started. Man, DOT would have a field day with those loads nowadays. You see those
that's
logs
no
up
kidding.
over the stakes.
Yeah, they're long, and for the truck, I mean, that people that has to drive a truck like that today, they'd cry or quit or
My
Yeah,
first log truck was a 1980 GMC 7000 with a 453 with a turbo on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Slam
we
your
really
hand
do-
in the door and get mad and jump in and drive.
And you
That's
can
right.
tell, do you know how to tell when a Detroit's out of oil?
Stops leaking.
That's absolutely correct.
When do you check the oil on a Detroit? Every day.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
Hey, big thanks to Sean. Sean's back there. He's our AV guy, man. He's the one that helped us put all this together.
So when you see
Yep.
this stuff
I mean-
pop up on the screen and you see these pictures and when
Oh,
we
yeah.
bring something up and it pops up there or the sound effects that come, we don't have a sound effect board here and we're not
No.
that smart.
We have a peanut gallery though.
We do
And
have
that
a
they've
peanut
informed
gallery.
us that we've been looking a little rigid. I can't speak for these two, but my back and neck have been really stiff here lately.
Well, I really enjoy this uncomfortable seat that I sit in, but I enjoy the company around it. So
Right.
I guess I can be a little
Right.
more chipper for the company
Hey,
that's
hey.
around the table.
Hey, I guess that is a big Indiana boom, baby.
Right?
So, yeah, this is a lot of fun. I mean, where else, as loggers, all of us are, we go somewhere, a party or whatever, or the logger at the back of the crowd. Because everyone we look at just start talking about what do you do, sir, for a living? Well, I'm a logger. I cut trees. And then we start talking and you're like, they have no clue where you're even coming from.
Or
They
you
don't
feel
even know
left
where-
out because nobody wants to talk about chainsaws or skidders or
What
timber
else
or
is there to talk about?
firewood. I don't want to talk about firewood and
Right.
start talking to them. And they look at you like you got three heads and like, yeah, I got to go. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, but all right.
It's always like you're like sitting in the swing by yourself and no one's
Yeah, it's that
around.
meme where you say, all I want is somebody to talk about timber to or whatever.
That's it.
There's nobody there.
Carrie and I were on an Alaskan cruise several years ago, and we were in the hot tub, and some of the people started asking us, other people on the cruise are like, well, what do y'all do? And I was like, well, I'm a logger. By God, that cleared the tub out pretty quick. They found somewhere else to go. I was like, well, I'll bring that up in the future. We'll have
My
this tub
goodness.
ourselves.
They must have loved them spotted owls or something.
Most time when I tell people that, they're like, "What's that?"
Right.
Oh, a lot of people haven't met a logger before when you
Wait a
think
minute.
about it.
Were you that guy on Axeman?
No, it wasn't me.
You figure so on that we haven't met a logger, or people haven't met a logger before. You take farmers. Farmers, like I farm and I log. Now I'm multi-generation in farming. My family's been farming in Virginia since the 1600s, but less than 2%, depending on what statistic you want to go by now, approximately 2% of the United States population are farmers.
Yeah.
Less than half of that are loggers.
Oh, I know.
So you figure the average urbanite or suburbanite, they've never met one of us.
No,
is
but
why
they
we
all
need
use
to-
toilet paper every day.
Right?
They do, don't they?
They like the non-scratchy version.
Right. That soft quilted stuff. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Isn't that what they always say, though? If you object to logging, try using plastic toilet
Yeah.
paper.
Or a
that
spotted
pine
owl.
cone.
Hey,
Corn
did you,
cob,
yeah, exactly.
pine cone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we serve a purpose. And I mean, I think for me being a firewood guy, I'm kind of bottom of the totem pole. You guys are going out, you're getting your grade logs out of there, you're cutting your veneer, you're cutting the timber. I get what's left over. So when they
This
look
is-
at me, I'm even further down on the bottom.
Now, wait a minute. This is where I feel that loggers are wrong. There's a purpose for everyone in this industry.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're using that byproduct that's left over from what you guys have to get
Because
rid
of you, because of you. So I'm going to tell where the firewood guys are very handy to a logger. And if you have a problem with this, I'm sorry about your luck. You're really not even close. But, okay, so we got the veneer. We've got the
All
lumber,
logs.
the saw logs. So, Clint, we did this job, and it comes down to the wire. But it's a clear job. So we have all these little pole hickories, hard maple. I'm talking perfect firewood side, but it's not big enough for a tie log, not big enough for a cant or anything like that. It's like, what are we going to do? I was like, hold on a minute. It just so happened that the preacher at church, one of the other guys, John Welch up in Indianapolis, he buys firewood poles, $1,500 a load. Dude, he saved the day.
Yep.
So the firewood guy saved the logger from losing a little bit of money on a job because we found some place to put it. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
You
So
didn't have to
anybody
leave
that
that waste
says-
in the woods.
Right. Anybody that says the professional, quote, professional firewood guy. I'm not talking about some rinky dink that don't know what he's doing and cuts firewood every week, once a year. You know that steel chainsaw lasts 25 years, but you only cut 2 rick a year. Not one of them guys. I'm talking about a firewood guy
Right.
like Russ.
Yep.
So they do help out and loggers that don't think a firewood guy's worth much.
And I know for me, it's
Neither
taken
are
me a
they.
lot of years to build a relationship with just a couple of loggers to make sure that we get that steady supply.
There
because
it is.
what we use for volume isn't what a mill will use for volume. We don't have a lot of mills around up in Maine where I am anymore. So if I go and buy from every Tom, Dick, and Harry that calls and says, hey, I got a load of firewood, you want to buy it? When my regular supplier calls and says, hey, I got 3 loads coming off this job this week, you want it? I can't say, oh, well, I really don't have the money because I bought logs from this other guy that I don't
Right.
know who he is. So I get people that get mad at me. You know, you get some of these loggers, they want to move out of a job. They got a couple loads left over. They call, hey, I hear you sell firewood. You want to buy this? I'd love to, but I'm going to pass.
And you're cutting about 1,000 cords a year.
Yeah, and I'm small. I mean, there's guys within 5-10 miles of me that are doing a couple thousand cord a year.
1,000
Easy.
quarter years, no
Michael,
joke.
do you fool with firewood at all?
Yeah, we do a little bit
I'm
because
sorry.
that's all right. We don't have any big firewood places close in our area, so a lot of the loggers will either sell it for pole wood or cut it themselves. So sometimes we probably run, I don't know, 50 to 60 cord a year, and that's all we do. Just when we're rained out or don't have nothing else to do, it's just something to do.
Yep.
Basically.
Yeah, I wish I could get rained out and not have to do firewood, but I usually end up doing it in the rain too.
Yeah.
Well, it always does. It was like we were talking about, here a while back about that podcast we had where you had to fill in the gap. With
Yeah,
something
you can't
else.
do just one thing. And I
I
mean,
called Mikey this weekend, or no, it was this fall or winter. I said, "Hey man, what are you doing?" "I'm plowing snow, man." "What?"
yeah,
"Dude, hey, big money in plowing snow right now. I got a skid steer, and that's what we're doing." So we're not. He's filling in the gap.
Yep.
That's what he's doing. You can almost make more money than that than go try to take a skidder and go up a hill with snow on it, and you ain't got your chains on yet. So by the time you put on your chains, you get everything ready. Now you got a whole day into it, and you've already made $8,000 plowing snow. It's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, and the big deal was this winter we was in real steep ground, so we was pretty well dead in the water. The skidder
Dead.
kept sliding everywhere, and we just
Do
thought
you,
it'd be better to let it melt, whatever, before we wrecked something, basically.
do you have a hard time finding winter ground down there where you're at?
Not really. We normally try to either do clear cuts or there's a county next to us. They got a lot of red clay, and the ground's real good, and it'll hold the equipment up pretty good in wet
Yep.
condition.
That's another thing. The logger in his territory knows his ground.
oh yeah,
To where you can start a job over here, and if you got another piece of equipment, you can have one. This one over here is sandy when it's wet, and this one over here is pretty well good whenever it's dry. So you got both places to work. Man,
Yeah.
that comes in handy. too.
Oh, yeah.
like up in Maine where we are, we have winter breakup. So you've always got a dry, high ground, rocky soil for springtime, so that when the ground's soft and muddy and you can't be in the lowlands, you can be up playing billy goat and
Yep.
running over rocks and doing what you got to do, but it'll keep you working.
Darn right.
Yeah.
I know my buddy Thomas Steinwald. He will go like New Albany South, man, hills,
Yeah.
rocks, just like you're talking about. You find them, and we could put a skidder on one of them. Let's go. So we would leave middle of Greencastle, Indiana, and run straight down there, and we'd be able to work 2 weeks where we couldn't even work up there.
Yep.
Thomas is always getting it moving. Keep going. You have to, man.
The skidders on steep ground is no joke. For anybody that's never run a skidder, if you're on a skidder and you're sitting up looking at a grade and the only thing that you can see is the sky and you can't see the ground ahead of you for where you're going, that's a whole different type of feeling to be on a machine like that.
Yep.
And what's even worse is when you got to come down the other side and whatever you're pulling's pushing, because they don't have the greatest of brakes.
Again, you have to have that rush.
That's what
You
that
gotta
front
like the
blade's for.
rush.
Well, the front blade only does so much in some instances.
You can tell a guy, I think, yeah, you said you're running deer, right?
Yeah.
And that picture that you had up there, was that a 440 or 540?
That was a
I
440
thought
C.
that. Yeah, I thought that. So
Tip over very
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah,
I
very
guarantee
narrow.
you, I guarantee if that's what he cut his teeth on, and you watch this man in the woods, he probably runs around with the blade to this day halfway down. Am I about
Oh,
Oh,
right?
yeah, you have
Yep.
to.
Yeah.
Yep, them 440s and 540s. You touch the brake,
Oh,
and man, they
man.
stand right up on that nose.
The blade will
Sideways.
keep you from turning over,
Yeah,
too.
that's
You
right.
got her low.
I had a
Amen.
540B for years.
Yeah, I started with a John Deere, was the first skidder that I had before I went to Timberjack, and just the center of gravity, the height of that Deere being so much higher. When the first time I side hilled with the Timberjack, I was used to having the Deere, and I'm all nervous on that hill, and I'm like, man, this feels really stable. I get out and I look and I put some wood behind it, and I'm like, this is really stable. And I was like, okay, so I got a little false sense of security, and I got myself into a spot that I shouldn't be. I found out there's still a tipping point, and
There's
it
still a
comes
tipping
quick.
point.
It comes real
yeah.
quick.
And that blade on the Timberjack is anchored to that front axle, so
Yeah.
it won't hold you down like a deer.
No, it will not. You go to drop the blade when it starts to go, it's usually too late. You're just going to flop it.
You've used Jack too, haven't you, Michael?
A few. We did for a little while, and after we quit hearing for a few months, we went back to deer.
Well, we
What'd
know
you
what
say?
he was running.
Yeah.
Huh?
353 Detroit.
Yeah, the
Even
old
with
Screaming
earmuffs,
Jimmy.
you couldn't hear yourself think.
Dude,
And
I
was
love
like,
them things, man. That was the thing when I was young, and we would, of course, there's like 8 sawmills around us up here. And so really, normally when you're out logging by home, you can hear a Detroit.
Yep.
Now I'm talking about back in the early 90s, you know what I mean? When I was a kid, Dad'd be like, hey, you hear that? What? Well, listen, you can hear it. We can hear that.
Yep.
Yeah. He goes, that right there's that 353. I guarantee it. That's 450. Yep, 453. It's got to be, man.
Yeah, you can tell a difference in what it is for an engine just by listening to
Dude.
it.
And you can tell, if you've done this long enough, you can tell whether he's pulling, whether
Oh,
he's
yep.
winching in or
Sure.
he's pulling a grade. You can tell by the way she's talking.
Yep.
4
Yeah.
speeds, baby. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So what are you running now?
It's a 94 548E.
Oh, 548.
Yeah.
So you got grapple and cable or just grapple?
Both.
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 That's the way to go. If you're going to have one machine and you're going to try to do a little bit of everything, having that cable makes a big
A lot
difference.
of them come with both of them. I mean, most machines do.
Yeah.
99% of them do. Many of them that don't.
Yeah, up by us, they either run cable or they run grapple. You don't see many combinations.
In most areas like that, like when I was logging out in Idaho, most guys, even though that's heavy mountains, most guys are not running winches on the new skidders. They're buying strictly grapples.
I'll tell you why. You really want to know why?
Yep.
Because when they're a cable guy and they pull that cable, they're like getting it all day. Show them how. Look at that. Look at it right there. Huh? Then they getting that gravel. Huh. I'm not getting out, boys.
Yep.
You're crazy. Take that daggone thing off there. I don't want it on there, man. Who in the world gets out of the cab nowadays? You hear that radio? That's what happens to them. They just go.
That was the quickest way to break somebody new in the woods was have them start pulling cable.
Dude, I'm telling you what.
Choke setters. That's where you started a lot of times.
My dad, man, was strictly cable. I mean, he would get mad. My uncle, they got grapples. And my dad's like, look at that. See how big that thing is? You know how bad it's going to tear up a wood zone? Do you know how bad it's going to tear it up? I'm like, yeah. It's going to tear it up worse than our little jack is. He goes, that's right. So we're not even going to go there. So we went from a 225 to a 240. And then when we got the 380C, he thought that was a little, man, that might be too big. But the chassis was a short chassis.
Mhm.
You know, you put the 28Ls on it. It ended up being okay. But the 460s and everything else, now he's got the biggest and the baddest. You know what I mean? Times change. It's not like
yeah.
it was back then. Everybody has to go up.
The markets are different now.
It is.
You could do a lot better with a small cable machine back there. You couldn't make it with a small cable machine now. If you're going to do it, it's going to be a struggle.
This is the way we figured it out, and you might agree with me too. Here in Indiana, everybody on the crew has got to produce one load.
Yeah, that's
If
always
there's three
been the rule.
people on the crew, you got to make 3 loads that day. If you don't, you lose money.
Yep.
2 people, 2 loads. 1 person, 1 load. I know my cousin, I'm not going to mention any names, but he passed away when he was 61. Cut in the woods his whole life by himself. Cut some of the most beautifulest timber. Was one of the most honest guys around his area. And we don't know what happened. We know that it was a big white oak that he cut. He always cut big timber. He always found big timber. Matter of fact, on his landing, when we went up to clean up after he passed, there was a walnut up there 4 foot through and, oh man, 25 feet long. And I was like drooling all over that thing. But I mean, he really did good work. And he was a full PPE guy, and he was my cousin and never left home without it. And I don't even think that had anything to do with it whatsoever. When it bowed the tree down, it bowed a hickory down. You guys know how flexible hickory is. Well, when it came off of it, it broke off a limb every bit of 8 inches and probably 30 feet long. And it rode the hickory back. And about the time he turned around and went to look up, dude, it blew his hard hat up. The homeowner, everybody knew that he cut by himself. The homeowner would know that he cut by himself. So he went in to check in on him, like most homeowners did with him, because they all loved him. He was an awesome guy. And he heard the saw-eyed one. And he said, well, I'm going to stand right here for a second. He's like, I know he's just going to pick that thing up and rev it up here in a minute. Well, I better start walking back there. And the closest he got back there, he's like, I know he's going to pick that up here in just a second. When he got up there, it was idling right beside him. The hard hat was in pieces, and he was no longer with us.
Yep.
It was his time.
Yeah, no, we've touched on it on a few podcasts already, and we haven't done many, but we all know somebody, everybody sitting at this table that didn't make it home.
And every time you hear a story about somebody that didn't make it home, the ones that cut timber, when you go back to the woods that next time, it's all even more serious than it was before you heard it.
Well, every time you talk about it, I mean, you can feel the hair stand up on your arms, because we've all had those moments where something happens and you got lucky.
Yep.
Because
or the good Lord was watching over you.
Now, you said you still hand cut.
Mm-hmm.
Are you who cuts on your crew?
Another guy that worked for us.
But now the real question is what does he use for a saw?
Oh, what?
Close your ears out.
Oh,
Here we go.
Steel.
Oh,
Which one?
He prefers the 462 because of the weight.
Yep.
Hey, I've
Yeah.
heard good, I've
Well,
heard
the
good things about
460s were
them.
the gold standard for a long time.
But they cut 2 trees, you got to fill them up with gas again. That's the only thing I don't like about a 460. 3 trees and you're filling it up again. And it's got them little screw little things on there. Well, you got to be smarter than Cap there, Mr. TKP. I understand. I totally understand. But why couldn't you just screw it on like a normal person? I don't know.
How many loads a day y'all normally getting?
For the most part, we probably average 2. We should be getting 3. I kind of.
But what are you hauling on though? Let's clarify that. What are you hauling out with now? And
3 bunks semi.
Are you contract hauling or you do it yourself?
We haul ourselves.
You
I
got to
do
check
all the
out his
hauling.
truck. And I wish you had a truck up on
So
the
you're
screen.
probably getting what? Now you're still on Doyle, right?
Yeah.
So y'all are what, 45 to 5?
Yeah, I'd say we push 5 most of the time.
Push 5,000 feet on there?
Every load you sneak in, a little extra money pays for those overweight fines.
Yeah.
If we're going off footage, I'd say we're probably doing 10, 12,000 feet a day.
That's
Yep.
a really good average for any timber cutter.
Yeah,
Hey,
so-
looky here. He's got a picture of the.
Oh, look at
Oh,
what he
yeah.
Oh,
found.
he found you, man. Thanks a lot, Sean. We appreciate it. There's Bary Logging right there.
Yep.
The yellow truck
The
at
yellow
the top
truck,
of the corner.
First
yeah.
one. There it is.
Yep.
That's the old
Oh.
Bary truck. Now, I want to tell y'all something. If y'all see the poster right here behind Mr. Russ Willey, that's Wood for Warriors right there. They're a really awesome organization out of North Carolina. And they make sure our veterans do not go cold in the wintertime. And Michael happened to be part of the crew that went down whenever I went down with Eric Kennedy. We all went down. Michael brought the yellow truck, man, with all the equipment on it to help out down there. We did 351 rick of firewood for the people down there in Shawananoa.
Yeah.
Well, we ended up meeting Aaron and Amber from Wood for Warriors.
Yep.
Man, we ended up setting up this awesome event coming up. I know Michael's going too again because I know our whole crew cannot wait to go down. Aaron and Amber are some awesome people, and what they do for our veterans, like I said again, that they make sure they don't go cold in the wintertime. I know they have over 83 people that veterans they supply, an hour in their radius, 3 cord a year, y'all. That's a lot of wood for 3 people. So this August, it's going to be Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend, we're going to be in Hickory, North Carolina, and we're going to be live in Hickory, North Carolina, all of us, and with Aaron and Amber. And we're going to get it to where they don't have to do the firewood this year by themselves because we're going to have a lot of different people coming.
Yeah,
to
we
help
got a
us
lot of
do
people
it.
coming from a long ways away. I'm coming down from Maine.
Maine.
I usually have to travel the furthest for all this stuff.
Yep.
And, that's okay.
And
I'm okay
log
with that.
ox.
Because you're special.
Yep.
I've
Log
always
ox.
been special.
Mom said you're special.
I know.
Right.
Lucky like that.
So
But no, Wood for Warriors, it's something that has really gotten attention. I've had businesses up in our area that have donated stuff. I know PV Manufacturing up in Eddington, Maine, they donated some axes that we raffled off at the PA Timber Show. We got over $600 for Wood for Warriors at the PA Timber Show.
that was an awesome event.
I mean, it's stuff like that. When you see the community pull behind these veterans, we can't sit here at this table and do what we do without those veterans doing what they did.
Amen to that.
So what little bit of effort we put in to make firewood for them is just a small fraction of what we truly owe those people for what we have for freedom and liberty to do what we do.
Amen.
And I know Wood for Warriors is looking to go nationwide, and we're working on it. So it's going to be really awesome to see how that goes. We're gonna push. We've got some people in Maine. I don't know who it might be. We've got some people in Indiana and Virginia that might be involved at some point in fashion. We're looking to make this
here on the
into
screen.
something really good. And they are a true 501c nonprofit. So when
Yes,
you
they are.
donate to Wood for Warriors, that money goes to Wood for Warriors, all of it, and it is allocated to go to the veterans. So
Guys, this is an awesome organization. I am so happy. Every time we do a podcast, they are going to be behind us because we can't do, like Russ says, we cannot do enough for our veterans. I mean, man, if it wasn't for them, we would not have the freedom that we have.
I mean, we use the Maine Veterans Program up where we are in Maine. That's who we've always supported. We've already contacted them. We're going to be teaming up for Wood for Warriors. They thought it was fantastic. They want the news crews and everybody there when we announce that we're rolling out Wood for Warriors for Maine. And it's just going to be really awesome. When you pull up to some of these veterans' houses, especially if they don't know that it's coming, and you see the tears start flowing because they don't know how they were going to keep that house warm or because they had bills or other things they need to pay. The best part is this Wood for Warriors isn't just firewood. And I know it's the same with the Maine Veterans Program. If we roll up to a house and we see somebody that we know shut in because their car's not running, because it needs tires, or because it's broke down, I've seen vehicles donated through the Maine Veterans Project. I've seen porches and ramps put in for people that have wheelchairs, roofs put on houses. We'll do whatever we can when we're there because it's our job to help these people.
And this right here is what America needs to hear, honestly, because, again, without our veterans, without the people that help our veterans, you know, I mean, they risk their life to.
That's the Woodhound community, though.
Yep.
All of us will go out in the woods. We'll work our guts out, whether it's in the firewood yard or the woods all day long. And if somebody needed something at the end of the day, there isn't one guy sitting at this table right here that would say, no, I'm too busy.
Yeah, you know, when we went over there and worked and did all that work for a week, I haven't never felt so good in all my life. And I'll tell you right now, I don't think I've ever ate that good in all my life. I mean, let me tell you what, that Southern hospitality is something. Mississippi mud cake. Oh my word, I love you.
Yeah, and I know.
I still dream about that cake.
Like when we went to Indiana for the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria. Look at the spread that they put out for us when we went to the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria. That was a buffet that 150 to 200 people walked through, and there was still enough food left over to feed them all twice over again.
Oh, I'm telling you what. Now, see, that's the thing. Also, Log Ox is also putting some stuff together. They're sending a lot of wood splitters to Wood for Warriors on that event. I know we've got Easton Made. We've got Wolf Ridge is going to have some stuff there. There's going to be so many people. We're going to have a lot of Timberwolf stuff. I got to bring the oddball.
I'm bringing all wood down from Maine. I got to be the oddball. Coming. I can't run what everybody else runs. I got to be different, and it's the world's fastest log splitter, guys. And there's a reason that they cut it in steel. It's because it is the world's fastest log splitter.
Right on.
So it'll be a good time.
It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of different people there. We're going to, if you guys are interested in helping with this event,
you can check out Wood for Warriors on Facebook. You can contact them right through Messenger.
Yep.
They've got an event page set up for that Labor Day weekend event. I think we're all set on equipment. I don't think we need any more equipment, but we can always take more hands.
Yes,
so if anybody's interested in coming down just to lug wood, carry wood, whatever it may be, come on down. The more the merrier, and it'll be a good time. When you put all of these woodhounds together, that's what I call them as woodhounds. I don't care if you're a logger, a firewood guy, a sawmill guy, whatever. We're woodhounds. You put them all together, it is amazing what a group of us can get done in a day, because most of us, if we're doing this full-time for a living, we know how to work already. The work's not the hard part. And then when you get to work next to somebody else that knows how to work, it makes it really fun to see what you can get done in the course of a day.
Communication is awesome, because all you gotta do is look at the other person. You already know what they're thinking.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We did that a lot while we were there.
Yep.
A lot.
Yeah. I talk about that all the time. You know, working with Kevin, I've worked with Kevin so long in the firewood yard. I don't have to say a word. We can go all day long without talking to each other. All I got to do is just nod or look or point, and we know what needs to be done.
And that's the best thing to ever have right there. Once you have them people, it's good to have them people.
Yep.
All of us that's on the business knows when that person, when you're hurting, and then you see your employee hurting, man, you know they're dedicated.
Oh, there's been times that I've thrown my back out or whatever, and Kevin's 110 pounds soaking wet. He is not my size, okay? And he's like, hey, what else can I do for you?
Right.
And I'm like, what do you mean, what else can you do for me? You're already doing I can do more. I can help. What do you need? And I mean, it's the same way with any of us. I mean, when you were hurt and stuff like that, you had guys that would step up and help out. That's what it's about.
It is.
Because guess what? It might be me tomorrow that gets hurt, or it might be Mike, or it might be Ryan sitting at the table. We don't know who that's going to be.
And out of work.
Oh, yeah.
Right, Michael?
Last year.
Yeah.
My crew was so good, I was out for probably 6 weeks sitting on the couch because a log decided they wanted to ride on my knee. Dude. And my crew, they kept working. When I come back to work, they had like 300 to 400 trees pre-drug, ready to be worked up, processed. And then we still had like 10 to 20 semi-loads on the job I got hurt on. We had to go in and haul out. And then on the next job they'd done moved to, they had 300 trees ready to rock.
So you run the boom?
Gone.
Yeah.
What do you
boom,
cut?
Truck, dozer. I do cut some, not all the time. It just depends. Like timber cutter gets hurt, whatever, and then we keep going. We can't work.
So are you the owner operator?
Yeah.
So
Michael-
that's why you're doing everything. That's why.
Yeah.
Because
Michael don't tell anybody to do anything he's not going to do. He's just
Yep.
like a
That's
regular.
exactly right.
That's the way to do it, dude. You're a boss when you get your butt out there.
Lead from the front.
yeah.
Buddy, I'm telling you.
Yep. A boss will stand behind you and push. A leader is going to be out front saying, "Hey, follow me."
Bingo.
Yep.
And I understand exactly what he's saying when he
Yep.
says he'll do anything, because guess what? At the end of the day, if it doesn't get done, the only one that you can blame at the end of the day is the
You.
guy you're looking in the mirror at. That's it.
Exactly right.
What are you running for a boom?
99 for Airco. We're actually kind of odd. A lot of people down in our area, we got a circle saw.
Slasher.
People, yeah.
Yep.
Big
Up
slasher.
where I am, we run circle
Yeah.
saws. That's all we have. We don't use bar saws up where we are.
I see my dad when it comes to a wood processor. Oh, you got to have a circle saw. But then when it comes to logging, he uses a chain.
See, now up where we are, I've got guys that are old school and I got guys that are new school. All the old school guys that are my dad's or my grandfather's age, they may have a knuckle boom on the landing. They'll lay all their logs out and they buck them all by hand with a chainsaw. Every single one of them. And I've argued and I've fought with them, and every one of them says the same exact thing. The
Quality.
easiest way to lose money
Yep.
is to sit in that seat and run the slash.
Okay. So my dad would totally argue with dude. He would be like, game on, I guarantee you.
Yep.
Because he would tell me. So a good friend of mine, and Scott, don't shoot me. My buddy Scott Pingleton, man, I logged with him, and he would mark them off on the ground with his ruler and everything. And he had a buck saw. He would use the buck saw just to cut them off. He didn't ever use a chainsaw. I'm like, hey, man, it's got marks on there. How long they are? Yeah, I know, but you can only mark them one time. And he just never took the time to figure. Now, my dad, on the other hand, I'm like, man, Dad, you ever made one too short? Well, no. I get out and I measure it. All you got to do is know where it's at on there. How many times you use it? He goes, I'm not getting off this thing and marking nothing. It's all about time and getting out of the job, ain't it?
Yep. One of the biggest logging contractors up by us that produces the most hardwood in my area. He's old school. He's in his 60s. His boys run the mechanical crew out in the woods. He does all of the landing work. So when they bring the wood out, he's processing everything. You go to his landing at any point in time, he's got 3 trees that he'll lay out where he can reach with the loader, and he fans all his logs out. He'll fill as far as he can reach with the loader. He goes out, he hand bucks everything, then he sorts and grades in the piles. He has all his logs all graded before the truck even gets there, and he doesn't care what the truck driver says. He tells him, this is my grade 1, you put this on that truck. This is my grade 2, that goes on that truck.
Everybody's in separate piles.
And he is to a T. I mean, I've walked into his jobs, and when you look at his jobs, I really don't think there's anybody that's any neater with it, but he does it his way.
Yeah.
Period.
Everybody gets, I guarantee you're that way.
Yep.
You know how to lay it out on it, put it on a truck.
Yeah, when I was hurt last week, our skidder operator actually stood up and started loading trucks a little bit with the boom, and he's pretty young, and I hobbled out there and leaned beside a log, and he'd pull them up, and I'd tell him where to cut them.
Did you say
So
you
we
got hurt last week, Michael?
Year.
Year.
Oh,
If
yes,
I
yeah,
said
yeah.
last week, I was
Okay, I was making sure.
Yeah,
you got hurt
What were you
recently.
doing when that log decided to ride on your knee?
loading a semi with a skid steer. We was trying to get all of our walnut on one load like a normal logger
done
way. It was going to be a big load, so I was trying to flip it up over another log and
Came back.
and when it came back, the forks was all the way up, and it came underneath the forks, and it caught another log on the way down and pretty well arrowed right into the cab.
How big
Right
was it?
into his knee, man.
Ouch.
Hit my knee direct, and that was the only thing it hit other than the glass door. But the log size was probably 10 or 12 foot long.
Oh, man.
Walnut, probably 12 to 14 inches on the small end.
What kind of damage did it do?
A
Crushed
good
it.
bit. Yeah.
Did you have to have,
So you got a bionic knee now?
No,
No? Well, that's
luckily
good.
it didn't really. I couldn't bend my leg for like 6 or 7 weeks. It bruised every bone in my knee, done a tibia spinal fracture, and then done like 4 or 5 big cuts in it. Had glass shoved in my knee. They had to dig out
Oh,
from
boy.
the door. Yeah.
Yep.
Let me
Good
tell you what,
time.
Bad
guys.
times.
Hey, Michael Bary is no small guy. He is
No.
6'4", and he is a big dude. I mean,
6'6".
this 6'6". He's 2 inches taller than me.
Correction.
He's a monster. I'm telling you. When
Hey,
he shakes your hand, it's like, "What's up, big dog?" You know what I mean?
You know what you call him?
Definitely not late for
Anything
supper.
he wants, starting with sir.
Hey, you know, we went and ate at Buffalo Wild Wings when I first met him. All of us went out to big old. Every time we go to the Paul Bunyan show, all of us would go to Buffalo Wild Wings on Saturday night. What's Michael order? The hottest wings on the market.
Ooh,
And I was like,
punishment.
"Yeah, right, Michael. What are you doing, dude? I've tried that. You're crazy." He goes, "Oh, they ain't that bad, dude." At the end, he was licking his fingers. I'm like, "Dude, you're not even sweating, bro." I mean, I've never seen anybody do that in all my life. So, and I know he can cut trees. I've seen that myself. So
what's Bary Logging got in store for the future? You guys looking to expand, add anything new, more of the same? What are you guys looking to do?
I mean, everybody always wants to expand, but we're probably at a good place, and we're just
Sometimes when you find
riding
something that
her
really
out.
works,
Yeah.
you stick with it.
go with it.
Well, limiting thing is finding good young people to come in that'll work.
This is
Yeah.
what we're trying to do, Michael. We're trying to get these podcasts to get the younger kids interested in coming and doing this stuff that we do every day. And a lot of the questions that I get on my comments, where do I start? Who do I call? Are you hiring TKP? No, I'm not hiring. You have to go to your local forester. Go talk to them. Go down to the local logging guy. You have to be
Come see a firewood guy.
come see a firewood guy.
Start on the ground, start on
There
the
you
landing.
go. There you go. Start doing that. Work your way up. I mean, there's so many different ways to get in this business. We just need you. That's all I know. Because a lot of the older generation are falling out. You know, a lot of people ask, well, how in the world do you and Bary? And, you know, same way as Clint, he cuts this kind of like the same way I do also. But Boys in the Woods is the same way. It's an old school type deal. A lot of the newer generations today didn't make it that far. Like I'm a 5th generation, so 4th, 3rd. They seen how hard their dad worked when they got home. He fell over. His hands were blistered. They're like, "Dad, you're awesome, but I'm not doing this. I'm gonna become a lawyer or a doctor. Or I'm working at Walmart, bro. I'm not doing what you're
And you
doing."
know what? Honestly, any of us loggers probably wouldn't hold our kids back for that because we
Amen.
know how
Yep.
dangerous this
We
job
do.
is. We know what is
Yep.
involved with it.
Yep.
But at the same point in time, there's still that kid out there that's never going to be a lawyer. He's never going to be a
Right.
doctor. He loves to work with his hands and doesn't know what he wants to do.
Yep.
That's the one we want. And we don't care if it's a boy, a
We
girl.
do not care.
You come on over. We'll find something for somewhere. Some of the best loggers out there now are starting to be women.
Well, my
I've seen
wife,
some women fallers that are really impressive up our way that'll really put the guys at a run for their money.
You know,
my
that
wife
lady-
logged with me for the first few years on a daily basis, running, and that was back when we still had a 540. You know, we'd run a 540G some, and but we went back to tractor logging. But yeah,
My aunt-
she'd get in
my
and
aunt-
log. She
my
pulled her
Aunt
own
Sandy.
cables, set her own turns, and
Yep.
she'd go into hollers and holes and mountainsides that I've seen guys back down from.
Sometimes they make better operators, and I've learned that from my previous experience. You know, I ran a commercial bakery. Some of the best operators for the high-speed equipment that I had were women.
Yep.
They had a better depth perception and better hand-eye control than a man had. And it was giving them the opportunity and showing them that they could do it. But if you told them, this is what I need you to do, once you showed them, they were
got
off
it
to the
done.
races. They'd make the guys look bad. And it was a game for them, too, because they knew that was a
yeah.
guy's job. And now all of a sudden they're sitting in the seat of that machine. They're saying, hey, Mike, you only got 12 last week. I got 14 today. How'd you do? You know,
Mike, how old are you now?
I'm 41.
Would you do this again?
Probably because grew up. If I grew up in the same background I have, I would, because it's all I knew.
So what would you what would you do? What would your recommendation be for somebody young wanting to get into this?
Get out there and find somebody wanting you.
I
'Cause you
don't
ain't-
think there's too many logging contractors around that if you went and saw them and you were really serious and you wanted to work, you had your head on clean, didn't have any substance abuse issues
Right.
or anything like that. That's the biggest problem nowadays is
Oh,
the
man.
substance abuse issues.
It is.
because they know most of the loggers, some of these loggers will pay cash for a day's labor or whatever. So we get all the bad habits. I get it big time with the firewood stuff.
Yep. We need real young people, not ones looking to go get drunk on Sunday and not show up on
You
Monday.
can't have those issues and last long in the woods. It's going to end bad.
Oh, my goodness.
It'll end bad.
We're not going to put up with it. Nobody will put up with that no more. If you come in, you're going to know within 3 or 4 hours if you know what you're talking about. You know, I'm not going to mention no names, but you get so many guys on the internet that want to come help you. Hey, man, dude, I'm good, man. You know, yeah, I run a skidder, man. I run this chainsaw. And let me tell you what, I went and got me a professional chainsaw from Lowe's. Oh, dude, you done told me a bad name.
He said all you needed to say.
Come on. And when they say that, I'm like, oh, boy.
Well,
but you just got to really,
to respond to that, our skidder operator's 18 years old. So,
there you go.
I mean, if you got the wheel.
There it is.
You said he was already stepping up and trying to do more while you were hurt.
Did he come from a logging background?
Nope.
There we
so
go.
Where'd you find him, or did he find you? How'd that happen?
Well, both. His dad's a good friend of ours, and his dad's an operator engineer, so he's an operator, and he wanted to get him going to operating equipment. So he's like, you need to go work with him, and he come on over. And
how long's he been with you now?
Couple years, actually.
He started
really young. He was homeschooled, but he started in the Firewood.
Yep.
Nope.
You hear that, homeschoolers? Do you hear that?
That's where I had to start, was the Firewood pile before I was ever allowed out in the woods.
You didn't progress past it seems.
I went back to it. Sometimes when you get really good,
who's a big boy?
And we've talked about that in a podcast from before. But, you know, my wife is she was a driving force in keeping me in Firewood, and we've discussed that before. But you know, she was always after me to find something that you're good at and stick to it. Because I'm just like any other ADHD guy. I can make $1 here, I can make $1 there, I can make $1 here, and then all of a sudden I'm out of time in the week, and I've still got all these other things that need to be done. So now I'm stressed out. How am I going to get it all done? And she was always after me. Find one thing that you really like and do it better than everybody else. And I was like, no, all right. So that was what got me back into Firewood. I know if I put my head down, I can produce more firewood than just about anybody in my area in a day. And I'll do it just to prove a point, because I'm that type of person. I mean, we're going to be hand splitting wood with TKP in October.
I hope you're exercising, because it's coming, big boy.
Hey, push-ups don't split firewood, cupcake.
You said cupcake.
So no, it's one of those deals where logging is something that's in your blood. Once you get out there and once you do it, if you're away from it for any point in time, you miss it.
I get sick. I don't know about you, dude, but I get sick, man. I just got to go cut something.
Does your wife help in the business?
No, not married, engaged, but
Is she going to help in the business?
I hope.
So you've still got time, see?
Yeah, we're always a guy short, a day late.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think anybody really understands how much a good wife helps a logger or somebody that works in the woods like us. The things that they do for us to keep us going, keep us focused and motivated, it's a big taxing toll on them just as much as it is on us. So having a good woman is amazing.
My mom, I know she grew, whenever my dad was doing this logging all of his life, she was the parts. When she was at home, my dad, hey, call on the phone. Where you at? What you doing? You run over to Indy and give me this part real quick so we ain't got to leave. We can still get something done. And, what do you need? Just send it to me, whatever you need. Send me a text message. Before, she would come to the woods. Dad would write it all down for her. Call ahead. We'd go to town, you know what I mean? You'd find a phone, call ahead, tell them what we needed, and we'd go back to the woods. He'd just cut till Mom come back. And women have a big part in logging. No kidding.
And honestly, having them on your side to help is almost better than having a couple extra guys, because they're a lot better at multitasking than we are. Unfortunately, as much as I hate to admit it, they're better at multitasking. So it's just one of those deals where, you know, having that extra person, and especially somebody that has the same interest, you're in the same household, it's the same thing.
It is.
So they're working for the same team. It makes a huge difference.
It does. You're both on the same page. And you live together, so you both know where you're coming from.
Yeah, and if you're sleeping with the bookkeeper, she knows what's going on.
Oh,
so you're not hiding anything. You're not hiding anything.
Oh man.
But no, we appreciate you stopping by.
I do want
no
you
problem.
to us.
Yeah, I do want you to talk to us and here for just a couple more minutes about your grandpa and what he did in your community.
Well, I don't know what he did for the community, but he was always the rock in our family. He was a good, honest man, and if anybody ever needed nothing with our family, I can think of cars bought and houses bought. He took care of his family, and he worked every day and didn't complain. He actually retired probably in 1990 or 92. And then when I got out of high school, I decided he come out of retirement, and me and him worked together for 13 years and kept on.
See, that's
That's
right
the same way it happened with my stuff. My grandfather was retired when I started doing firewood again. He came out of retirement to help me, and he's still doing it.
It's inspiration.
As a saying, it sounds like you said the same exact thing that my grandfather was. And again, that's this whole logger community and the way it works. It's the same deal. You just described my grandfather, and you've never met him before.
Right.
90 years old, went out and cut timber, didn't complain,
And nobody could tell him no either because he was going to do it.
No.
Yep. No,
That's the way to be.
It's amazing how similar everything is, even though we're so far away, so far apart.
Sure.
Haven't met Mike before today, ever.
Right.
And he just described my grandfather to a T.
Right. Grew up the same way. These are the men that made America.
Yeah.
They are.
Absolutely, it is.
So, that was a good podcast, Mike. Man, we really do appreciate you coming out and sharing your stuff.
Thanks
and the
for
way you
inviting
grew
me.
up. Yeah. Russ?
I always say a little bit every day goes a long way, and help someone if you can. Sounds like you're helping your community, and you've had plenty of help along the way too. So we appreciate you stopping out to take some time and be with us, and can't wait to have you back again sometime if you're willing to.
Right,
Oh,
Mike.
yeah.
Appreciate you, Michael.
No problem. Thank you guys.
That is a big Indiana boom, baby.
Got guns and sawdust echoes loud, carving out truth where the strong stand proud. We're done for now, but we'll be back again. Tune in next time where the stories never end.